Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm just saying. So I'm doing this show tonight because Martin Luther King's birthday is coming up on Monday, and I just kind of wanted to just kind of talk about him a little bit and what he means to me as a child of Birmingham, Alabama, growing up there, being born there, and leaving there when I was about 10 years old, coming to the north, the great migration to the north. Martin Luther King was amazing to me. We got out of school to march. When you're a little kid, you don't have any idea why you're going through this stuff. Excuse me, Martin. Make me want to holler too. But sometimes, like when you see the signs that say for the water fountains in the bathrooms, white only, colored over here. My brother and I, we didn't know what that meant. My brother is like 14 months younger. We'd race to the water fountain, thinking we're going to get a cool drink of water on a hot afternoon. My aunt takes us to the park and, instead, she's running after us saying, no, you guys can't drink out of that water fountain. We're trying to figure out, well, what's the difference between this water fountain and that water fountain? It's just an old raggedy water fountain. But, when the 16th Street Church was bombed, it was always bombings and burnings and, that morning we realized that the church had been bombed up the street. And then later on that night we found out that Carol, one of my sister who was 7 years older, her friend Carol had been killed in the bombing of that church. So, it was tough. I mean, we couldn't sleep in the bed. We had to sleep on the floor so we wouldn't get shot through the window. And it was like America's had declared war on its own city, and I'm sure other southern cities went through that too. I can't speak on their behalf. I just know personally what I went through in Birmingham and being afraid of German Shepherd dogs. Still somewhat afraid of German Shepherd dogs because, they sick them on us all the time. So, anyway, we would go to Selma during the summer for about 2 weeks. My grandparents have a land down there, and we went down there. I didn't like it that much, but they did have the March on Selma also. It was a very, very violent time, and when you're a child growing up there, it messes with you. It messes with you, but in a good way. It's made me who I am by knowing what his dream was. I've tried to bring that in everything that I've done as an adult, no matter what community I've been in. I've tried to put together shows for children to make them feel good about themselves and to understand that they're all very special. Because when I was growing up, we were segregated. Segregation meant that, Mr. Jones wore a suit to work or had a business. We got to see all of that. So even with all that negative, there was some good that came out of it. And, people, they galvanized and they joined together, and without email or Instagram or anything, we were able to come together. We got our clues from the DJs, which is why I guess I DJ'd, and had a radio show when I was in Syracuse. And the community programs that I put together, just serving other people and running for office is something that I genuinely do because I care about my community, and I care about the people in that community, and I care about society, and I care about where our grandchildren are going to be, and where they're going, and where our great grandchildren and their children and the children after them. Unlike the slaves who knew, that you have a child, that child is born into slavery, it's going to be sold, you might not ever see it again, and it can be killed, it'll be raped, and I look at the women who are talking about in Hollywood, how the women were abused, and how Me Too, and it has to stop, and when our ancestors as slaves didn't have anyone to go to. So if you think that they're pulling their penises out on you, you can only imagine what they did with, slave women. I mean, it's just like, have your way, and there's nothing you could do about it. Anyway, these are things that I've had to personally overcome. I'm a fighter and a little bit different than everyone else because I'm not afraid, which sometimes can intimidate people because they don't understand why you're not afraid to stand up for stuff. And I've been a fighter since I was a little girl. I had no other choice. I was with a sister who was, 7 years older than me. I hung out with the teenagers, fighting for justice and trying to fight for, equality, in the sense that not to be integrated as much as to have the same opportunities, to have the same kind of education, those kind of things. Equal rights. And now I guess people trying to make up for it is, you had a black president. What are you complaining about? The kids are mixing and mingling. You won't see a commercial that won't have an interracial couple, a black and white couple. You're just not. It's hard to see one because after Barack Obama, everybody thinks let's. The marketing people said let's zoom in on this. They even got mannequins in the store. You got you got a black mannequin with a white woman holding hands. I went to a store. It's unbelievable. Yeah, okay. So, he wanted, little black boys and little, black and white children to, hold hands in the playground. We always take things to a whole nother level. Whatever you want to do. But the fact is that I look at people, sororities, fraternities, Jack and Jills, and, are we really any more together? I think the churches, I think it's all pulled us apart. It hasn't really brought us together. We have just as much hatred now for black people as we did, when the Klan was marching, and they just changed out of the sheets now into the preppy, polo shirts and khaki pants now. Children are killing each other in schools, the gun violence. I don't remember any of that. I don't. That wasn't happening. But it's where we are today, and I like to think that people want to serve their the public because they really care about the public, not because they're missing out on, getting attention, or this is the closest they're ever going to get to being a celebrity, if you will. But that's not the case. And I think we are hoodwinked and bamboozled. I don't think that the upper, I don't know what you want to call them, people want to say, oh, see, it's economics, people don't have money, but who are the people who don't have the money? Who are the people who've been at a disadvantage? Who are the people who've not been given the opportunity? Who are the people who stop the other people from living in certain neighborhoods? Who are the people who make the laws? And who are the people that are locked up in jail? And who are the people that put them there? Who are the people who made these laws? And I'm not saying that, and then you got people who come in maybe from other countries who have the same color skin that you have, but at the same time, they've been hoodwinked and bamboozled into thinking that every single solitary Black American is lazy and shiftless, and all they want to do is complain and want a handout. A handout? Let me see. I think this is a country that went 400 years, just taking. And, no pensions paid, no Social Security paid. I say that all the time because you know what? I guess if I had known that a generation all for over 400 years, my children would never have to pay anybody anything to do any work. They could get a whole place built, land taken care of, babies suckled, taken care of, raped whenever you need to. Look, are we any better? We're free, I guess they say, but are we really? We have just as much opportunity. Do we really? White folks and Black people get along. We all have the same equal opportunity and equal chances to get jobs and live in homes and buy cars and go on trips. Do we? Just asking. I'm just asking, Are Black people closer together? Do we really support each other? How's that NAACP working for you? When something happened to you, where are they? Oh, those Black Women's Political Caucus. I'm a Black woman. Are they there for you? Have they supported you? Do anybody even come and talk to you? Do they? I'm just asking, Or is Mr. Charlie's word taken immediately? Everybody's still in some kind of dream state. They're scared. Nobody puts their lives on the line. Dr. Martin Luther King put his life on the line. He didn't just talk the talk, but he walked the walk. And that's what I believe. Don't say it if you ain't gonna do it. Don't what do they say? Don't talk about it, be about it. Where are those people? Where are they? Most of the time they're so busy walking on eggshells because they're afraid to talk about Black issues in America. The dynamics of relationships between the Black and the white. They think because if they sell the children a bill of goods and tell them, just go out with somebody of the opposite race and we'll all blend together and kumbaya, we are the world, we'll live happily ever after. It's not true. Look at the world we're living in. Even the world is getting sick of us. I mean, mudslides, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. You think about it. If we really had everyone on this planet to just feel love for just 1 minute, to not be afraid to care about another person, not be afraid to offer a job or give a good education to children, to give everyone a real equal opportunity, we wouldn't have to go through any of this. But hey, are we the ones who started this racism thing? I'm just asking. Did I do it? Tell me how I can undo it, because I'll undo it. Who's responsible for all this racism stuff? Who's responsible for this crap? Whoever they are, can they just stop it? No, because there's only two emotions, that's love and fear. And people are afraid. They're afraid of retaliation. Shoot, I know if I was those Negroes, I'd be trying to figure out a way to retaliate against what they done to me. But we're the meekest people on this planet. We're always looking for love and understanding. We sing about it. We talk about it. We preach about it. We do a lot of that. But when it comes to showing child please, you might see the next person out in the parking lot getting in their car cussing somebody out. Can't get along in the churches. Can't get along at work. He did a number on us. For centuries. It's going to take a long, long time. And now nobody is willing to put their lives on the line for anything. Honey, I can't afford to lose my job. I got me a good job. I got to keep my job. I got chillings to pay for. I got kids in college. So you sell your soul to the devil. Hey, just be happy. As long as you're taking care of yourself. But you got to remember, we're all connected. We're all connected to the earth, to the wind, and to the fire, and to each other. I can't hurt you without hurting myself. And what goes around comes around. So just remember, you can fool the people, but you can't fool the universe, and you can't fool God. So if I were you, I'd watch myself. When it comes to Martin Luther King, we don't need to be honoring people who don't need to be honored. You don't honor people who don't even care about you, who've not shown any love, who've not shown any fairness. You don't have to honor anybody. It's Martin Luther King's birthday. We honor him. We talk about his legacy and his life, and the fact that a 39-year-old man puts his life on the line to try to bring in some love, and then some lunatic shoots him and kills him. Like they do with anyone who's trying to bring about some kind of good unity. And so that's why everybody's shaking in their boots. I ain't gonna, don't push me out there. I'm not going. We got to get better. We got to get better as a race. And then I think we can probably do something with others, you know. But everybody has their own little thing. Nobody's trying to include black people in anything. Black people ain't even trying to include black people in anything. But when you have your Hispanic organizations and your Iranian organizations and your Italian organizations and your Irish organizations, they're not thinking about no black people being a part of their thing. In fact, when you go to a Dominican event, they're doing everything in Spanish. They don't care whether you understand what they're saying or not. You're sitting there like this. I mean, even the little un poquito español that you might know is out the window because you can't keep up. And guess what? They don't care. You know, you're just excluded. It's another form of bullying as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, Martin Luther King, I love you with all my heart and soul. I thank you for everything that you did. Your book, Why We Can't Wait, changed my entire life. I wish I could find that book now. I've been looking all over for it. That's why I'm doing this show so late. But I'll tell you something. You're my hero and you always will be. You with a combination of Malcolm X. I know. We're going to talk about him later on my show because Malcolm X was something too. But these were all eloquent men. They could speak. They could write, you know. And they were young men. I'm telling you. Those days are gone. But I hope that, you know, eventually, I know they say we didn't pass the torch. I passed it with my children. I just hope that they take it and do something with it. I try to do something with young people on Martin Luther King's birthday, but it's the parents too. It's a whole nother world. Everyone's been so messed up. Help your children. Yeah, we need help. Don't let them fall. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Please tune in again. Help somebody for Martin Luther King's birthday. Show some love. Be kind. Be kind to each other. I love you and I hope that you will love me too. Take care. Subscribe. Like the show. Take care now. Jesus, He's love.